The earth hung like a luminous swirling marble against the backdrop of 1,000 shimmering stars. Another day, another orbit. It was always the same, a string of tedious tasks, punctuated only by Ava's endless chatter and her caffeine-fueled enthusiasm. "You think we'd hit space junk jackpot today, Mark?" Ava asked, her voice crackling through the comms. "Think about it. Decades of satellite launches, wars fought with lasers, even the occasional rogue satellite from old China. We're swimming in it." "Doubt it, Ava," I grunted, peering at the gridlocked constellation of satellites on my console. Nothing but old tin cans and burnt-out solar panels as usual. Then a blip on the scanner, faint but unmistakable. "What the—" "Looks like a derelict," I muttered, more intrigued than alarmed. "Derelict? How cool is that? An actual ghost ship?" Ava squealed, her voice brimming with childish excitement. "Don't get your space boots in a twist," I cautioned. But my curiosity was piqued. Ghost ship was a phrase I hadn't heard in 20 years. It meant ancient, forgotten, probably crawling with loose wires and asbestos. But the loneliness of space made even the most mundane things exciting after a while. "All right, let's take a look," I said, gripping the controls of our minimalist craft, the Sparkle, a relic of a bygone era myself. Ava's voice faded out as I activated the docking clamps, and the rusting hull of the derelict ship gaped before me, swallowing the light. Inside, it was like stepping into a time capsule from a forgotten era. We navigated through darkened corridors, the air thick with dust, the last flickering neon lights casting long, eerie shadows. There was a hum of broken machinery, the ghosts of a forgotten crew. "Logbook, Mark! Gotta see the logbook!" Ava's voice crackled, her enthusiasm undiminished despite the stark surroundings. We found it tucked behind a shattered display screen, its pages brittle and yellowed. The scientist who last wrote had desperately described a solar flare, a sudden unprecedented burst of energy that had swept through the craft, decimating the crew. He spoke of one survivor, Elena, trapped in stasis, unreachable. "Elena?" Ava whispered, her usual cheerfulness subdued by the weight of the words. She hadn't been reachable. We pressed on, following the eerie silence and stale energy to a sealed room. The airlock hissed as I opened it, revealing a pod bathed in a pale blue light. A single figure lay within, unmoving, breathing slowly. "We found her, Ava!" I gasped, reaching out to touch the cold glass. "We found Elena!" We carefully navigated her out of the stasis pod. The woman seemed frail, her eyes closed, her face lined with grief and disbelief. Slowly, as her eyes opened, a panicked expression fluttered across her face. She saw us, her expression shifting from fear to a glimmer of hope. Who are you?" she asked, her voice a raspy whisper. Are you with the Alpha Team?" Ava and I exchanged a startled look. Alpha Team? It took time for Elena to adjust to the world beyond the stasis pod. 2 decades had passed in the outside world. For her it was only a few days, trapped in a nightmare she thought would never end. But she adapted, her resilience and intelligence blooming like a desert flower after a storm. I watched her dissect the ancient code within the derelict ship, with the ease of someone who had never been disconnected, her fingers dancing across the dusty keyboard. "It's amazing," she breathed, a flicker of understanding passing through her eyes. "The potential, the possibilities. We could unlock so much, rebuild so much." "We'll help you, Elena," I said, my voice choked with emotion. "You're home now," Ava beamed, her arms laden with packets of synthetic protein and dehydrated vegetables. "Welcome back, Elena. We've got a long bridge to cross, but I've got enough coffee to keep us going." Elena looked up, eyes filled with a renewed light. I just want to understand. What happened? What is this world like now?" I took a deep breath, my gaze drifting to the last 2 packets of instant coffee nestled in their compartment. My world, both built and broken, was hers to explore. "It's been a while," I said softly.